Once again, Amolistic is about to hit you with a video strictly consists of yapping about a certain topic. Here is the footage of me chilling in survival while I discuss about the recent changes that is being discussed on Devshorts 111. Anyways, the video starts with topics related to Jade Stars, and this is what they said.
Okay, let's talk Jade Stars.
Jade Stars.
What's the problem with Jade Stars?
So the problem with Jade Stars is that when it came out, it kind of wasn't very powerful. So we buffed it and buffed it and buffed it, and we went sadly too far. So now there's quite a few strategies that are unfortunately something we cannot let linger in the game for long. Essentially, things that allow you to kind of don't play and just let the thing play for itself. You can macro them pretty easily. So what we want to change is that we're going to add line of sight to it. Oh, I'm sure chat is super thrilled with that. Basically, for things like Siren, it doesn't really affect Sirius and Orion at all because they didn't really have any way to abuse the fact that it didn't have line of sight. But for things like Siren, for things like Hildren, there were some strategies that were just like very, very bad. Like with Hildren, you can like stand behind the door and everything outside is just taking a bunch of heat damage just because.
Jokes aside, what makes Jade Stars a very competitive choice is with its coverage. The fact that the ability has a 50 meters tracking radius that ignores the line of sight is bound to brew some serious issue. Thus, it is perfectly fine to add line of sight to it, and I wholeheartedly agree with this change. But while it stops the setups that can take advantage of such powerful ability, the ability itself, damage-wise, is just terrible. Going through several buffs, and the damage is still barely serviceable at best. Yes, I can put it on Rhino plus a Viral Corrosive plus Hit Inherit to force it to be incredibly insane and be serviceable even for level cap Demolites, but that's Rhino. If I can make Moat into an actual DPS tool, Jade Stars is not close to be an issue that Rhino cannot fix. But again, that is Rhino. The point is, the ability itself, outside of frames like Rhino, on top of a great Hit Inherit setup, is terrible. It is far worse than the likes of Ember Inferno when it comes to dealing actual damage. And most of you are complaining about Ember 4 not dealing enough damage already. It is the coverage that truly salvaged this ability, and without it, the ability will simply be mediocre again. The fact that you, Pablo, thought that it is going to be great still is unfortunately a bad and uninformed take. Let me clarify. Look at this. This is Jade Stars with over 350% strength plus Archon Vitality, with a gun that can proc Jade Stars most efficiently. These are chaff units from your day-to-day Steel Path mission, and Jade Stars is struggling to have a TTK that is even acceptable. Is this what you call a great subsume? Is this what you call a great ability? I don't even want to mention this ability on Sirius and Orion. This ability does not exist, okay? A frame whose ultimate deal over 6-digit damage after some stacking will need help from an ability that contributes only at max 5% of the damage that Celestial Clash does? Please, Pablo, go play Sirius and Orion for once and check how much Jade Stars is contributing. Jade Stars is designed in a way that values proc speed over anything, because that is the only way you can even deal damage, and discourage abilities like Celestial Clash, where it deals very high damage but slow in application rate. This is why people say that Jade Stars is good on everyone except Sirius and Orion, because they genuinely have a hard time utilizing it well. And the damage it contributes is basically nothing for them as well. Compensating them through buffing their ultimate is not the way either. This is not how compensation works. The ability itself needs to be meaningful for both of them, and buffing their ultimate only makes Jade Stars straight up pointless, as even their questionable armor strip coverage is now done better by their ultimate. Jade Stars needs to have a scaling where it takes in the percentage damage dealt by an ability or weapon. say 25% that is not scalable, and add that into the damage of Jade Stars. This gives Jade Stars a sort of damage amp that will also greatly benefit from Celestial Clash or any weapon, instead of proc speed over anything. This makes Jade Stars a worthwhile ability to be used as a form of damage increase, making it a worthwhile choice against the likes of Raw, Eclipse, Nourish, Sata, whatever that is in your mind, instead of just a puny ability that deals very little damage, worse than majority of the choices. Even if it has the reverse hit inherit problem, the damage increase easily makes up for it. Speaking of their ultimate,
in compensation for that, we're going to change the ultimate as well, so that, oh my god, I'm not going to remember the order, but I guess it's when Orion hits, it now is going to do fire damage, and when Sirius hits, it's not going to do slash damage, and both of them are going to do procs, or maybe the other way
Clashing
around.
as Sirius will do heat damage, guaranteed proc. Clashing as Orion will do slash damage with a guaranteed proc.
Okay, I don't know if I said that or if I said it the other way, but anyways, so basically we're flipping those, and since they have guaranteed proc, and obviously the guaranteed proc is a ton of damage, so basically they do way more damage for that, and that's essentially, you know, I think the ability needed it, but also it's sorry for nerfing Jade Stars.
yes, finally, good change for their ultimate. This ability genuinely struggles to deal considerable damage to half HP and Eximus unit at base steel half after 7 perfect combos. And the addition of procs certainly helped them scale, especially Sirius with hit procs due to Archon Vitality. But as I said, this is not how compensation works. Jade Stars is still beyond useless on Sirius and Orion. What quote-unquote sorry for nerfing Jade Stars? Jade Stars is never there in the first place. It's like I'm saying sorry to someone who never contribute to a group project. Bro is never there anyway, let alone hearing my apologies, bro. With Sirius and Orion out of the way, they also talk about the changes for DA, TA, EDA, and ETA. And I quote from what they said in the Devshorts.
Basically, we're gonna make it so the warframe now gives you 3 points, and the way that the last reward is set, you can skip 2 modifiers or 2 weapons if you prefer. So basically, you now have more flexibility on saying like, I don't like that modifier, or I do like that modifier, and you can decide what you take. We're also adding categories to the modifiers. So for example, the energy ones, you can only get 1 per week, as opposed to right now, which, you know, RNG can give you like a ton of modifiers that are energy related. So now there's buckets. We're also adding buffs to the weapons and the frames. So basically you're gonna get like a random buff. So, you know, I don't take the numbers, but, you know, plus percentage range to the 3 warframes options that are available this week, or, you know, in weapons it'll be plus crit chance or plus fire rate or whatever to those, to try and make them a little more enticing, so that, especially, I don't think the warframes really need it, but particularly for the weapons, sometimes you can roll a weapon that doesn't have either a Kuba version or a Prime version, whatever, that can feel kind of weak. So, you know, because of that, obviously, you know, the fact that there's 3 and there's a bunch of them, but anyways, with the buffs, hopefully they're a little more enticing to use.
I sort of vibe with these changes, but I can't say that I am liking it. Yes, it is good that we are avoiding modifier combos that genuinely make your life miserable and give other choices some sort of buffs to compensate for their lack of damage or something. It's a good enough solution to the RNG aspect of the game mode. And I can't say that I'm vibing with the idea of warframes giving 2 more points that allows you to turn off 2 modifiers you don't like. This is textbook running away from the problems that made EDA and ETA a failure in design. Do you know what players will do with these 2 points? 3 if you are playing EDA. They see abbreviated abilities, they turn it off. Same goes for ammo deficit, ammo scarcity, constrictor, drop guard, energy exhaustion, flanker syndrome for certain frames, gear embargo, lethargic shields, powerless, permanent injury for some, transference distortion, undersupply, and untreatable. 24 of them. There are 14 modifiers that will be turned off immediately without consideration, simply because of how terrible they are. Instead of addressing the fact that these modifiers being a terrible addition to the roster that only adds frustration instead of a fair challenge, you choose to run away from it. I haven't even talked about the badly implemented deviation and risk variables like eroding sensors, bolster belligerence, ramrod, competitive streak, toxic tank, etc. Lots of these modifiers needs to be adjusted to not downright make certain builds impossible. This addition is blatantly asking the players to disable them if you don't like it. So what's the point of even having modifiers in the first place? If you are asking the players to disable the ones they don't like, you might as well ask them to play the mission normally at this point. If the risk variables and deviations are not actively ruining their life. The idea of warframes giving more points sounds like a good incentive to force players out of the normal picks, but in majority of the case, the system outright asks you to turn off the challenge, even the RNG aspect of the game mode. The moment you open up weapon picks, it is just over, because everyone will now bring the best incarnate weapon to trivialize the mission, which also goes against the idea of this supposedly quote-unquote challenging content. I said it in my last Yap session, something must be done about the modifiers. Make the choices you gave to the players interesting to play around and not downright punishing. Design the modifiers to incentivize unique approach to the game. You can make the content challenging, but at least make the process enjoyable and rewarding. Every failure should feel justified and strictly the player's fault, not because of some bullshit like no abilities, no energy, no operator, no weapons. None of that should be there. Anyways, Yap session over. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.